Okay, today I would like to do some practice on the Shomen Uchi, the way I see it, and then some ways to help you to improve your Shomen Uchi. Many times I see in Aikido those very poor executed Shomen Uchi, like attacking like this, and then there is no efficiency. And then if you really wanted to get momentum from the Shomen Uchi attack, this kind of attack, there is no momentum. So you cannot really learn how to do Aikido techniques using those types of attack. So as you can see, I put some props here to help understanding how I see how Shomen Uchi can be very efficient. So I will start with a Jo first. Then I have a mallet to give an example, and then kind of a plastic bottle to help too. So first thing is to understand how we can get the understand the physics of Shomen Uchi attack and how can it be very efficient. So the Jo is a good example of how to start getting the understanding of the mechanics, the kinetics of the Shomen Uchi attack. So as you know, the Shomen Uchi attack with the Jo is like this, right? So one thing, I'm using the ball, so give at least an idea of the target, and then how I can make it very efficient. So if I attack like this, it's kind of no point. So in the Jo, is to leverage your Funagi Undo type of exercise. So this kind of a forward movement, engage with your hips, start with your foot, a very well grounded foot that move back and forth. So you move forward, and then your hips that will create compound the movement of this movement here with the hip movement, and then your shoulder movement, your elbow movement, your wrist movement, right? So that is to get enough kinetic energy on the tip of the Jo, and then have that Jo transfer that kinetic energy as a shock transfer, and then the skull of an opponent would transfer all this kinetic energy towards the hitting point, right? So the idea with one hand is to say, okay, I start with this movement, and then the hips, and then the shoulder, right? And then the elbow, and then the wrist, okay? So it's compounding the movement. This movement, the shoulder movement, the elbow movement, and the wrist movement. So the idea would be like this, right? And then you hit on the skull. So here, boom. So now with the Jo, you have the other hand to add a little bit more kinetic energy, because here when your wrist is moving, the other hand is helping to create that movement here and then increase the speed. So I'm trying to get as much speed and then create a lot of kinetic energy at the tip of the Jo. Okay, so here, go here, 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 and then hit. As you can see, if I just hit, it will bounce back. So some energy is absorbed by the ball, and then the other is sending back. So with the Jo, at the end, we let the speed, and then the end with the hand tenogui, we make it sure that the energy stays absorbed there, right? So here, and then going there. So as much as you can, and then going there. So that's a good practice of a Shomen Uchi with a Jo, right? Here, here, and then going there. And then you can see that we transfer diagonal, not trying to hit on the top. Here, diagonal, absorb, we just keep moving a little bit. So here again, we move here, hips, shoulder, elbow, wrist, and then hitting. So here, okay, so there. So that's how you can get to the Shomen Uchi, understanding the energy that you can generate with the Jo. So now trying to get to the Shomen Uchi. Shomen Uchi is not a very traditional Western type of attack where we hold the hands like this. It's more like a karate type. So we understand more fist fight. But the mallet is have an idea of how you could use or understand the principle of the Shomen Uchi. Imagine that you have a nail here, and then you want to get that nail down. So the idea is to boom, right? And then get there. So here, and then here. Yes. So the idea, boom. And then sometimes I saw style on Shomen Uchi, just people doing this. There is nothing wrong. I like this movement because I can create more energy to get there, right? So it's depending on how much energy you want to generate to transfer to the point of shock, right? So here, if you do this, you have only this, which is not wrong. But if you have the possibility, and then you have this desire, you can create from here, and then generate here. So I mean here, opening, using the hips, the shoulder, the elbow, and then the wrist, right? So all this compounding is not moving, is one adding on top of the other. So compound the energy here, boom, right? So this is something that you can understand. And then sometimes you say, in which case you would use this kind of attack. So in many movies, I've seen this bar fight. I've never been in bar fight, so I will imagine that using the movie as a reference. So sometimes you see people grabbing a bottle of whatever, and then getting here, and then hitting the head. So this is kind of the same way you would do a Shomen Uchi. You have a bottle, whatever, and you come here, and then boom, you hit on the head. Okay, so here it's like the Shomen Uchi, the same Shomen Uchi, boom. So now, how do you change that into the attack with the hand? So the same thing, you would create the same movement and then hit this way. If this kind of a hand way to do it is not kind of feeling comfortable, your mindset doesn't kind of work well. So create a fist, and then you do the same thing this way, right? So this is the way you can probably refer to that makes more sense to you. So here, and then hit here, and then little by little you start creating this hand here, and then you attacking Shomen Uchi, boom, right? Shomen Uchi, you start moving forward, you use the hips, shoulder, elbow, and then hit. But everything has to be smooth, right? You want to just create the speed, and once you gonna hit, then you start closing and then tightening everything up. You don't tight here and then do the muscle. You relax the muscle, you get the speed that you need, and then once you get to the point that you hit, then you close, right? You stop. So the Shomen Uchi will be more effective this way. So you can go here and then boom. And then because is an opening, you open here, you get exposed. So the way I like to do is put the other hand in front. So here, and then I chain. So here, I chain, boom. It's like in karate, sometimes you do this way, and then you do tsuki. So here, in the Shomen Uchi, I like to do the same thing. Here, I go here, and then boom, right? And then practice that. Move here, exaggerate. If you wanted to you are in this stance here, left foot front in this case, and then I start moving forward, right? I start moving this movement here, and then I start compounding the hips, then the shoulder, the elbow. So it's go one by one, boom, boom, boom. So you compounded the energy. It's not just the, it's a compound kind of, it's like a mathematic compounding interest rate. So this is the compounding energy that you creating here, this moving here, hips, shoulder, elbow, and then hit. Right, so here, boom. Okay, so practice that, and then when we go back to the dojo, let's see if that Shomen Uchi can be really efficient. So if you have a very good Shomen Uchi, then you can exploit that attack to do Aikido techniques. Okay, so try it.